We are now recording for our professional practice action learning set 2. There are 6 exercises, and after discussion, we have split into 3 groups. And Mashami will be doing exercise 1 and 2, and Bilal will be doing 3 and 4, and me, Moses, will be doing exercise 5 and 6. And now we are going to begin with Mashami sharing his feeling and experience after doing exercise 1.
Well, the exercise one was to consider the ideas relating to self-esteem and self-confidence. And first of all, how I would define both terms. I would look at self-esteem as more or less on how you how much you feel about yourself in overall.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of you can ask yourself, I'm feeling pride
Of yourself.
of yourself. Am I competent? Am I worthy? So it's about I think your inner self, your opinion. But self confidence is about, I think, abilities, your abilities, that you have confidence in presenting your abilities. And I think it can also vary from situation to situation. While self-esteem is more about, I think,
The basic
the
block of the human being.
yeah, I think it's also about the experience as well, and that has led to you to feel that certain way.
So you develop it over time
Your-
with your
yeah,
actions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you have gone through in your life that have shaped your own view of yourself.
Well, I think self-esteem is like the basic of your personality. In order to become a real independent person, you have to be self-esteemed. Whereas for self-confidence, you might be self-confident in certain areas, but you might not acquire the same ability in other areas.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just not like self-esteem. Self-esteem. You will be a self-esteem in every aspect of your life. Yeah.
And then the exercise two, where we should decide whether you are a people pleaser. Have any of these crossed your mind? For example, I should do what other people want or expect from me, and I should listen to other people's problem and try my best to solve them. These are some issues that do relate to me. For example, when I looked at it, it was more, I should always be nice to other people. Well, that's something that is common in terms of showing respect and tolerance to other people, in order for you to also get the respect that you have to show respect, so you can gain the respect as well. And I should do what other people want or expect from me. To some extent, yes, because I do have a lot of people that look up to me. So I have to
Return to them.
repay them. Not repay, but to show.
Give an example.
Give an example, exactly. And especially as an international student, I have also expectation. When I'm coming to this university, this institution, that I have to represent where I come from as an international student. And that's also
like an ambassador of your country.
Exactly, and it's an important role as well.
Okay.
So you're like a role model then.
Role model. I look at myself as that, and that's why people also perceive myself as self-disciplined and people pleaser. Yes, I think some of this question relates to me. I come across, but it's also something that is developed through the environment you grew up with, how you're raised. It can be a cultural thing as well. And
I really, to some extent, I would say I am a people pleaser. For example, I would always try to make others happy. There's no harm in that, but there's always a limit to how far you can go. You don't want to go detriment yourself, for other people. It depends, how far you're going. So,
Is that pretty much for exercise 2?
Yes.
Shall
I
we,
don't think it's necessary to go through true and false.
Yeah,
Of,
yeah.
shall we move to exercise 3?
Yeah.
I think so.
Bilal,
Yes.
please.
Yeah, so exercise 3 is ultimately about breathing. And yeah, I quite enjoy these exercises
Okay.
because, well, ultimately it relieves your stress. And especially like as a law student, you're always, you're busy, you're learning about cases, you're reading cases, you're quite having a stressful life. And so I found these exercises very useful and I feel that I would definitely do them in the future.
Yeah. I've done this kind of breathing exercise in my spare time as well, and I find it's really relaxing. It's very cheap as well. You don't have to spend any money on this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
And as you said again, it depends on the environment that people are so stressed they don't even have
Exactly.
even time to take
Appreciation
of
your surroundings, yeah.
It's around it, and it's also good for your health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
you breathe, and there are some breathing exercise that I do as well, where I, for example, hold my nose on the right and breathe from one nostril, and I've heard that it will help your brain.
Good for your brain.
So, yeah, even though you can feel dizzy in the beginning, but it's very good for the brain and as well, breathing exercise by just breathing from your nose without using your mouth. Just, and then it will help in terms of your respiratory.
Okay.
On the issue of health, I did some prior research and I read this book, The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, and I found out that your body is designed to release 70% of its toxins through breathing. So, if you're not breathing effectively, you're not removing these toxins, and that makes your other systems of your body to work overtime.
Yeah.
And obviously that can lead to illness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd really recommend that you do these exercises in your spare time.
Yeah.
Whenever you have the chance. Yeah.
Of course, breathing is really important to us.
Exactly.
We appreciate that we have been given such method how to breathe properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to move on to exercise 4?
Yeah, sure.
Which is more to do with actually removing your stress. There are a few methods mentioned in the book by Breaker, and these include using a shoulder coach. I'm not sure about you, but I actually do use a shoulder coach, an invisible shoulder coach, which basically it's like I have my mom or my dad or a high figure that when I'm in a dilemma or in a situation, I think, well, what should I do? Is this right or wrong? I think, what would they say? Would that be a right thing to do? I'll see it from their opinion as well. So then, I try to do the best I can, and that's one way I do that. You got any thoughts on that? Do you guys use a shoulder coach, or when you're in a dilemma?
Yeah, actually, when I was in an argument with my roommates recently,
Right.
When he said some bad languages to me, I would just think about there was a kind of invisible shield between me and him, so all the attacks from him was defended, so I was not hurt anymore.
Yeah. I think the use of a shoulder coach, it can also improve your self-esteem and self-confidence because you're given encouragement by whoever you have as a shoulder coach. For example, one of the phrases used in this book is, I am bright and I can do this. I deserve to be treated with respect. I think this is useful, especially while you're going through studies, for example, because it improves your confidence.
And this goes back to your self-esteem.
Exactly. Yeah.
That you will develop in terms of doing such exercises, and it's I think the way when people say keep repeating themselves, that I think it gives the conscious awareness as well, and it's very important. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to exercise 5?
Well,
exercise 6.
Exercise 5 is actually about setting for some goals in different period of time. Regarding the long range goals, I myself is it long range?
Yeah, long range. Yeah.
Long range goals.
Yeah.
I regard it as kind of opportunity to give some improvement on your own personality. So I think I will try to control my temper as my long range goals. Because
Sorry.
in my childhood, I was kind of person with very bad temper. I easily got pissed off and easily got angry. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe I should work a little bit more on controlling my anger or my temper. And talking about 1 year ago, do you guys have any long range goals recently set?
I wouldn't say too long range. I'd rather, maybe a 1 month, 1 year. I have more of those. Long range goals, you don't want to think too far ahead
Mhm.
because you're uncertain on the future. But
Yeah.
but generally speaking, you have an idea in mind. What you're
Yeah.
gonna do in the future. Yeah.
I think it's a very good idea to have long range goals, but at the same time short, because it's for me. I've learned that it's good to set on your foundation
Mm-hmm.
and long term and short term goals, and one of them is, for example, now today we're in this institution
Yeah.
trying to get our degree. Um, we already know that in order to get the education and the certificate that we need, it's gonna take 3 years. That already is we already set a so-called long-term goal already.
Maybe,
But
like to finish a degree, I don't think it's really a goal, But if you are saying
It
you're
is a
going
goal.
to complete a degree with at least 2-1
One
results, that will be a
can
goal.
can be
Yes,
a
I
goal
agree,
as
yeah.
well. But having people making the choice of going to get the education is a goal as well.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
is, and because some courses might take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's different depending on the degree you do. So it is you can set is as a long term goal or short term goal.
Yeah,
Depending on
actually,
what you.
when I was like 12 or 13, I was already quite interested in law, and I've said to myself, in some days I will become a lawyer, but before that, I would like to engage myself in a law degree, and now I'm now engaging in a law degree, so I can say that I've completed some kind of my long range degree already. Yeah. Talking about 1 year ago, I think it probably goes to my academic result. I would like to get at least a 2-1 in my second year. Yeah, it was quite realistic, given the fact that I've put so much effort on my studying.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, for now we're in year two. I think our goals, like my goal, I've set, for example, to be more proactive.
Right.
Because first year we were more or less reactive.
Yeah.
Because we were in our first year and
Quite passive.
passive. So this year with experience, we can set kind of standards of what we want to do. For example, compete on debates, compete more on mooting, join
Extracurricular activities.
different type of activities or the what's the building success program,
Yeah.
academic success program. So these are kind of
I think
goals.
as you go on with your life, you develop these goals, you improve these goals every day. And I think for example, like in year one, we were told to do as much mooting as we could, and I think this year it's clear that we are doing more mooting because other people's opinions also improvise your goals, and I think that's very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talking about 1 month goals, it should be much more realistic and urgent than that of 1 year goals and long range
Agree,
goals.
yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I might just want to complete the professional practice reflection diary, which is quite urgent to all of us. That's a reason for us to record this video on today, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's somehow still linked to my academic result. Yeah. Well, this is pretty much for exercise 5. Exercise 6 is about some daily habits which will make you become more confident about yourself. Well, the first one is about start out alert. Basically, it just says if you could get up earlier in the
Mhm.
morning and sleep much earlier in the evening, you'll be more healthy and become more proactive. Well, actually, to be honest, I'm not quite a person sticking to this good habit,
Okay.
so I can't say much about this. Maybe Mashami could share some feeling about.
Oh, you're not a morning person.
Yeah, not a morning
You're not a
person.
morning
I'm being
person.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it comes to again that how we discuss about breathing exercises, or if you set a goal, for example,
Mhm.
people who want to maybe lose weight, they set a goal, right? A long-term goal. It depends on how much calories you want to lose, for example, how many much weight. So they do. It's also about dedication. So startup alert. For example, if we start uni at 10, maybe, and it requires you for maybe to wake up 2 hours earlier,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Instead, you wake up at 1 hour before you were supposed to wake up. So if it starts 10, you wake up at 7 instead of 8. And that hour period, you do your breathing exercise, or you go out for a walk or a jog before. And that is, I think it's very helpful. And that's also a startup alert. And I think it's very conscious in terms of, it's very relieving for your brain and body as well.
Did you feel any differences when you are starting out alert as compared to you sleep very late in the evening and you
I
wake
think
up very late?
I definitely feel the difference because it's your own choice that you want to wake up early. You want to make a difference in your life. You know?
Yeah. So you have to take that responsibility.
Exactly.
And
Is there any
initiative.
difference in your body when you
Yeah, there is. And you feel it. Maybe some people, when they go and train and exercise, for example, and want to lift weights, they have a goal, maybe a 6-month goal, to say that they want to become strong, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, bodybuilder. But they go for maybe a week or two in the gym and work intensively, but then the body wears out. They don't have that energy, and then that 6-month plan that you had is destroyed because you went and did over too much. So it takes initiative and planning, and but I think the way the start out alert is a very, I think, good foundation, a start.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask, why do you not consider yourself as a morning person?
Maybe it was just like another habit.
It's a habit.
It's something you've been developed over time,
Because I'm from Hong Kong, and all the should I say that nearly all the Hong Kong students are like me. They sleep very late in the evening and they wake up very late in the morning. It's just like the culture of the city. Yeah. Well, actually, the second exercise suggested by this question is like choosing your sunglasses for the day. Basically, it said you could choose your mood on this particular day and how do you see the world. How are you going to cope with others, and how are you going to face difficulties? It's all entirely up to you. Well, actually, I find it quite useful because it's just like exercising more control of yourself. You could control your own mind, control your own attitude.
Exactly.
It's a kind of good feeling to control yourself.
I think that links in with developing your self-esteem as well and self-confidence in yourself.
And also linking to develop long range goals is to control myself, my temper. Okay. Well, the next exercise is about exercising my body, my mind, and my spirit.
I think I covered it a little bit.
Well, actually, I have signed for the gymnasium in the ALS Sports Center, but I rarely go there. The one reason is because I live much far from the gym centers compared to last year. So, and now it is winter, the weather gets very cold. I don't really want to travel that long. Another reason is just because I'm quite lazy. But talking about my mind, I have practiced a lot through reading and I remember once I was told by my grandpa who is a very wisdom old old man. She said, if you want to practice your mind, you should always keep several questions on your mind. That question should be quite complicated that you can't resolve it in a second. So when you are in your spare time, you could think about it, and every time you think about it, you might get some new thoughts or new ideas.
Okay, I think that relates to like having an invisible coach shield, you know, always giving you questions in your mind to think, how can I improve myself? How can I develop myself? How am I a reflective person?
Yeah. You should keep just asking questions and keep answering questions by yourself. And talking about take quiet time, I should say that I've completed this exercise for a lot of years, because every time before I go to sleep, I think about what I've done in this particular day and what I've done in the recent weeks. What kind of conflicts that I've developed with others, and how could I resolve them, whether I have done right or wrong in this kind of matters. It's really helpful. There's a traditional Chinese saying that in a particular date, you should have think about yourself for more than 3 times in one single day, so as to just to revise what you have done and how do you improve yourself in tomorrow. Have you guys ever tried to think about yourself, what you have done in the day before you go to sleep?
I think, generally speaking, that's something that you do, you know, for reflection, self-reflection. And I think I do that, you know, I try to do that as many times as I can per week.
As a spiritual person, I would say as well, you know, it's part of your everyday life, and you always ask for guidance and protection and being thankful for life as you wake up in the morning and when you are about to sleep, because you're not promised tomorrow. Now, in terms of taking a quiet time, yes, we are entertained so much by the new technology as computers and mobile phones and TV, and this kind of environment, it makes you you know, you don't have time, you know, because you're entertained
You
so
can't
much.
take time for yourself out, you know.
Exactly, and
it's very hard for you to squeeze a separate time to do some reflection.
Exactly. And not me personally, but in general, it is, I think, for some people, but it's very important exercise that you give yourself that time as well, even if you're in a stressful environment.
Exactly.
To do it.
So it releases your stress just to take your time out. For health reasons, it's beneficial in itself.
I think this is pretty much the reflection or the feeling sharing on all 6 exercises. And do you guys have anything to say?
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Okay. Thank you. This is the end of recording for Action Learning Set 2.
Yes.